From Peninsula TV Studios in San Carlos, SBC, the San Mateo Credit Union, Wells Fargo, and Oracle present this year's hottest game show, Bay Area Quiz Kids. And now, the best host on the West Coast, Brad Friedman.
Thank you all. Welcome to the second game of our Final Four matches. Last week, if you were here, you saw Harker School beat Crystal Springs in a thrilling game. That means that Harker will be going to the top two. They will win either a wonderful trip to Europe, courtesy of our friends at ACIS, or a $1,000 scholarship for each member, courtesy of the Burlingame Rites of Freemasonry and the Commandery 16 Knights of Templar. One of these teams will be up against the next week, facing the same prizes. Will it be the Mills High School Vikings? Or will it be the Mission San Jose Warriors? Let's find out right away as we begin with the collaboration round. Gentlemen, welcome back. As you recall, we will play as a team in our first round. I'll have a series of 10-point questions in front of me, ask your team a question, give you 10 seconds to collaborate, then ask Sahil or Kevin, your captains, to give me the answer you think is correct. Give me the right answer, you score 10 points. Give me the wrong answer, the other team will be allowed to collaborate and possibly steal those points away. We'll go back and forth until the buzzer signals the end of the round, okay? Good luck to both teams. Mills, you get the first question. An Italian immigrant, he opened his first restaurant, Il Giardino d'Italia, in Cleveland in the 1940s, changing the spelling of his name so that Americans could pronounce it properly. Who was this chef famous for his namesake brand of canned ravioli and spaghetti?
Boyardee. Chef Boyardee.
Hector Boyardee, yeah! Warriors. It consists of its namesake island, Kowloon, and the New Territories. Ruled under a policy of one country, two systems, what territory existed as a crown colony of Great Britain from 1898 to 1997?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
That's right, for 10 points. Calculated as the integral of force with respect to time. What is this SI quantity measured in kilogram meters per second squared, defined as the change in momentum?
A Newton?
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You can steal it.
Impulse.
You have stolen it. And Mission San Jose gets the next question. It increases left to right across the periodic table and decreases down a group. What is this measure of the reluctance of an atom to surrender an electron, or alternatively, the strength by which an electron is bound?
Electronegativity? Is it affinity or electronegativity? I think it's negativity, it's both of them. Electronegativity?
No, I'm sorry, Kevin. Mills, you can steal the points back.
Electron affinity?
No, it's ionization energy. Here's your next question, Vikings. It addressed the issue of the District of Columbia having a greater population than 13 states. What constitutional amendment extended the 12th Amendment to the District of Columbia, allowing for it to have electors cast votes in presidential elections?
The 22nd Amendment.
No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect. You can steal, Warriors.
18th Prohibition.
It's true.
Kevin?
17th.
23rd, so close. Here's Mission San Jose's next question. Coils in the form of this shape reduce resistance due to a larger diameter and a smaller number of windings. What is this donut-shaped surface of revolution generated by revolving a circle around an axis coplanar with it?
Taurus.
That's right, for 10 points. Said to be the grandson of Sisyphus, his name means bearing darts. When he is accused of trying to seduce the wife of King Proteus, he is sent to kill the Chimera. Who was this Greek hero that tamed Pegasus?
No. Perseus.
No, I'm sorry.
Bellerophon.
Bellerophon is right. I believe Perseus slayed the Gorgon. Dumbledore's pet phoenix is named after this man who is listed alongside David Beckham and Winston Churchill as one of the 100 Great Britons. Who is this leader of a group of Catholic conspirators implicated in the plot to blow up Parliament?
Guy Fawkes. Guy Fawkes?
Guy Fawkes is right for 10. That signals the end of the rounds. Look at the score. Well, right now, Mills has 10. Mission Bay is in the lead with 50 points. It is still early, so don't go away. We'll be right back to talk to the teams and play some more Quiz Kids. Welcome back. The studio is full, and that's the way I like it. I hope you will think about joining us for a live taping at a future show. Just call us at 650-637-1936. We will send you tickets. Welcome back, Vikings. Sahil Mansouri. You'd like to do something that I think is wonderful. I always love it when a student will do this. You'd like to talk about a couple of teachers at Mills.
I would. The first teacher is Mr. Wayne Phillips, who taught at Mills for many, many years, and he retired last year. However, he still teaches one course of international relations. And the other teacher is retiring at the end of this year, and her name is Miss Bonnie Volkman, and she teaches humanities and world history. And I've had either teach one or the other all 4 years of my high school career, and they are just great people, great teachers. And Mr. Phillips is the contact for the World Affairs Council of Northern California, which hosts a conference at the Asilmar Conference Grounds.
Oh, and you got a grant to you got a scholarship to go there, right?
Yes, Brian did as well, and
That's great.
we're going to be going there from April 29th to May 1st.
So we thank Mr. Phillips and Ms. Volkman. Thank you. That's great. Chris Teresi. Mills High School is famous for its involvement as a robotics team, and you are in the playoffs this weekend.
Yes, we are. We've never really done all that well at regionals, but this year we had a really hot design. We did well in competition, and we're in the playoffs as we speak. A couple months ago when you watch it, and we'll see how we do. I guess they'll call me after the match, but hopefully we'll be able to, move on, maybe go to nationals.
That would be great. But always you do a good job. So we wish the best to your robotics teammates, and I'm sure they're wishing the best to you today.
Yes.
Brian Chow, you say you have some interesting summer plans ahead.
Yes, we're planning on visiting my relatives in Asia, in Taiwan specifically. And, since I'm going off to college in the fall, it'll be like a family vacation.
Family vacation before you face the burdens of higher education.
Yes.
How long would you be in Taiwan?
Probably a week, probably a little bit more.
A week? Gosh, you kind of need a couple of weeks, don't you think? Talk to your folks. I mean, you got to get there. Jet lag, all that stuff to relax, enjoy.
It goes by quick.
Or whatever time, and maybe, you never know, you might end up having to come back so that you can go to Europe.
Hope so.
I hope so. Let's give a big hand to your coach, Mr. Grant Paul. Someday, I myself am going to build a high school at Mission Bay, but for now, let's call you Mission San Jose High School. I don't know why I get that wrong. It's not that hard. Kevin Kwai.
Yes.
You are waiting to hear from colleges.
Oh, yeah.
And you're waiting to hear from Harvard, Princeton, and Stanford. That's not a bad choice.
Yeah. Waiting until April to give notifications is something that I'll never forgive them for, but...
Well, they like suspense just as much as the Quiz Kids producers do.
Of course.
And say you got a yes from all three. Where would you go?
Well, I was born in Massachusetts, and I'd love to go back there, so Harvard.
So Harvard is the first choice. So, well, good luck to you there. Any one of those would be a good school for you. Roger, last time we met, I stood here like a dummy trying to cover for my ignorance regarding how to build a telescope. And so when I asked you what we wanted to talk about, you told me you were building a theremin.
Yes, attempting.
You're doing this to hurt me, aren't you?
Not particularly. No.
Okay, so tell us what a theremin is and how you're building it. And I'm not saying a word next.
Okay, a theremin is invented by this Russian engineer named Theremin.
Oh dear, Roger, we're out of time. I'm so sorry. It's the one that goes woo.
Yeah, it basically has coils, and then you move your hands around, controls volume and pitch. It makes weird sounds.
Good for you. And you know what would be great? I think what you should do is you should put it like at a neighbor's house very far away and look at it through your new telescope.
That's plausible.
Yeah. Dan Gui. Dan, you're taking part, well, you take part in a lot of quiz bowls, and now you're going to take part or have taken part in the Ocean Science Bowl.
Well, recently, or a few months ago, we competed at the regionals in Monterey. Rogers was on the team, and we placed first there. So now in April, we're going to Biloxi, Mississippi. We're competing in nationals, and I've never been in Mississippi, so I'm kind of excited.
That would be exciting. Yeah, congratulations. We wish you luck there, and we wish you luck today. Let's give a big hand to your coach, Cheryl Lindsay. And if I were stranded in Biloxi, I can't think of anyone I'd rather be with than our judge, Mr. Frank Saboti. We could ride there on a raft, the raft of the Mississippi. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, we'll be right back to play more Quiz Kids after these words. All right, let's play the lightning round. Hands on your buzzers, gentlemen. Questions are worth 10 points. First person to buzz in gets to answer the question for your team. Give me the right answer, you score the points. If you give me the wrong answer, the other team can collaborate and steal those points away. If you buzz in before I complete the question, you will have to answer with the information you've heard. If you give me the wrong answer, I will complete the question for the other team. It is an important game. Good luck to both teams. It can have about 43 quintillion different positions, though most can be solved in 29 moves or fewer. Dan.
Rubik's Cube?
That's right. It is mentioned in the Mahabharata, thus this coastal settlement is known to be very old. Visited many times by European explorers in its history, what city on the west coast of India was a colony of Portugal from 1510 until 1961? Kevin.
Mumbai.
No, I'm sorry. You can steal, Vikings.
Cities?
Sahil.
Madras.
Goa. A parabola is defined as a set of points equidistant from a fixed point called the focus. Sahil?
The vertex.
No. Equidistant from a fixed point called the focus and a fixed line called what?
Directrix.
Yes. In between sea voyages, as a member of the Merchant Marine, he wrote his first novel, The Town and the City, in 1950. It would then be 7 years until what beat author's novel On the Road? Kevin.
Kerouac.
Yes. The first 5 skeletons of this human ancestor were discovered in the 19th century at Dordogne, France. Quite modern. Kevin.
Cro-Magnon.
You got it. Born as Temujin around 11. Kevin.
Genghis Khan.
Right. Examples of it include Respighi's Pines of Rome and Smetana's Mavlast. Yes.
Tone poems.
Yes, that's right. And it's Smetana, I believe. It was founded in 734 BC by Greek settlers from Corinth who called it Swamp. The hometown of Archimedes. Yes, Kevin.
Syracuse.
That is right. Usually a 3,000-meter race, it derives from a horse racing event conducted in a similar way. Yes, Kevin.
Steeplechase.
You got it. Everyone else can just join in. After the end of World War II, the coalition government fell out of favor and Labour returned to power. Brian.
United Kingdom?
No. Who defeated Churchill in a landslide and thus replaced him during the negotiations at Potsdam?
It's Attlee. I think it's Attlee. I think so. Attlee.
Clement Attlee, that's right. The design was patented by Christopher Scholes in 1868 and sold to Remington in 1873 when it first appeared in typewriters. What is this modern-day layout of letters on most English language keyboards that takes its name from the first 6? Yes, Kevin.
QWERTY.
QWERTY keyboard, right. The magazine he was working for was shut down due to a libel action that was taken as the result of a comment he made about Shirley Temple. Who was this English author of The Power and the Glory? Yes, Kevin.
Graham Greene.
Right. There is no theory of quantum gravity, so it is unknown whether they could exist under the theories of general relativity. Also called an Einstein-Rosen bridge. What is this Yes, Chris.
Wormhole.
Right. Active in the Revolution as part of the National Convention, he voted for the execution of Louis XVI, but is remembered as a painter. Who is this French neoclassicist who painted the Oath of the Yes, Kevin?
David.
That is correct. In a deck of cards with jokers removed, I declare the one-eyed jacks and the suicidal kings to be wild. If my goal is to draw the highest card possible, what is the probability that I draw one ace at random? Kevin.
7 out of 52.
That is correct. What penalty is called by an official in a game of football if a player makes an illegal block by hitting, yes, Sahil?
Chopping.
No. If a player makes an illegal block by hitting the opponent from behind.
Grabbing.
Sahil knows now. Clipping. It was formerly known as the LLB in most American universities, and despite the new abbreviation, those who hold the title rarely call themselves doctors. What degree with a two-letter abbreviation is conferred upon those who successfully complete law school? Brian.
JD.
That is right. It was the phrase that Teddy Roosevelt used to describe the actions he took to resolve the... Kevin.
Big stick.
No. To resolve the coal miners' strike of 1904, which then stuck to his administration. What were these series of policies associated with Teddy Roosevelt, notably antitrust enforcement?
Bully?
No. I see Brian making a triangle, but it's the square deal. It can be measured with a pedometer. What is this continuous process caused by the evaporation of water from leaves and plants? Kevin.
Transpiration.
Yes, sir. That's the end of the round. Let's look at the score. 30 over here, 190 for Mission San Jose. Can Mills High School catch up when the point values are doubled? Come back right after these messages and find out. Extreme lightning round! Point values are doubled. Both of you teams are terrific. Good luck. First question. In 1971, Ashley Montague suggested that he suffered from type 1 neurofibromatosis, a genetic disorder. Who was this man who spent much of his life as a circus sideshow attraction? Chris.
The Elephant Man.
That's right. With Charles Cutter, he founded the American Library Association as well as the Columbia School of Library Economy, the first institution for the instruction of librarians. Who also created the system of... Yes, Kevin?
Dewey.
That's right. He first appeared in the novel Extricating Young Gussie in 1917, and it wasn't until 1971 that it was revealed that his first name is Reginald. Who is this P.G. Wodehouse character? Yes, Kevin?
Jeeves.
That's right. They are made out of 3 materials: chitin, calcium, and silica. And Chris?
Bone.
Nope. And the presence of them may interfere with growth, so creatures need to molt or shed it. What is this outer structure that protects an animal's body?
Exoskeleton.
Correct. The title derives from the Latin verb for to lead, and in the context of Genoa and Venice, the term used is doge. What is this highest rank in the peerage of the United Kingdom? Yes, Brian?
Duke.
That is right. It was given its name by Francisco de Ulloa, who thought that it led to a passage that connects the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. What is the name that locals prefer for the Gulf of California? Brian?
Baja California?
No, I'm sorry. You can steal, Warriors.
The mini Gulf of Mexico.
The Sea of Cortez. It consists of 2 books of preludes and fugues written in all 24... Yes, Kevin?
Well-tempered clavier.
That's right. Calculate 7 factorial divided by the quantity 3 times 5 factorial. Kevin?
14.
Right. The 2005 Men's Final Four was played at the Edward Jones Dome in what city? Yes, Brian?
St. Louis.
Correct. The French call it Descartes' law, but otherwise it is named for its Dutch discoverer. What is the name for the simple formula used to calculate the refraction of light when traveling? Yes, Roger?
Snell's law.
That's right. Unlike the Disney adaptation, this titled character did not live happily ever after with the prince. Instead, she flings herself into the sea. Yes, Dan?
The Little Mermaid?
That's correct. Employing this method makes the otherwise difficult task of integrating a rational function much easier. What is this method by which one can split a quotient of rational functions into a sum of several functions? Chris?
Partial fractions.
Correct. This movie propelled Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody to #2. Yes, Chris?
Wayne's World.
Right. Located in the eastern Serengeti, it is a 30-mile-long ravine. At what prehistoric site? Yes, Chris?
Great Rift Valley.
No, I'm sorry. At what prehistoric site excavated in the 1950s by Louis Leakey and his family were the first species of Homo habilis discovered?
Olduvai Gorge.
That is right. When Daniel O'Connell attacked him, this politician replied that when O'Connell's ancestors were brutal savages on an unknown island, his were priests in the Temple of Solomon. Who was this conservative prime minister under? Yes, Brian.
Benjamin Disraeli.
Correct. The existence of this phenomenon explains why the sky is blue. What is this kind of scattering that depends on the intensity of the light and varies inversely with the fourth power of its wavelength? Kevin.
Rayleigh scattering.
That's right. What Scottish mathematician is the namesake of the special case of a Taylor series centered? Yes, Kevin.
McLaurin.
That is correct. The history of it can be traced back to 70 BC, but the Danish name was mentioned for the first time around 1231 AD. What is this city on the Danish island of Zealand, the setting of Shakespeare's Hamlet? Sahil. Blanked out?
Elsinore.
Elsinore is right. Also the name for the national airline of Nepal. It derives from a Tibetan word meaning little man-like animal, although those who have reportedly seen it describe it. Yes, Dan.
Yeti?
That's correct. This party was formed around the Wilmot Proviso and was led by Salmon P. Chase and, yes, Sahil.
The Know Nothing Party.
No, I'm sorry. Salmon P. Chase and John P. Hale. What United States political party ran Van Buren for president in 1848 under a platform that opposed the extension of slavery?
Free Soil?
That's right, the Free Soil. Yes, it looks like it's going to be Mission San Jose in the top 2. Come join us next week. We'll see you then. Big show.
The following underwriters help to make this program possible. SBC, the San Mateo Credit Union, Wells Fargo, and Oracle. Tournament champions will win an all-expenses-paid trip to Europe, courtesy of ACIS. Additional support provided by these Bay Area newspapers and the Burlingame Scottish Rite of Freemasonry.